Let's give our power rankings this week. It's a big shakeup for me after a pretty crazy day at Iowa. So go ahead with your top five in your power rankings going
I
into New
didn't change
Hampshire.
mine a whole lot, but I got moving. I'm not sure if my last week's was correct or not. So at five, I have Christopher Bell. He had a good run going, especially in a backup car. Denny Hamlin, he fell down. I put him down at four. I didn't drop him out yet. He's still very consistent. He sucked, and all of a sudden he was there, like in the top 10, and then got into a crash. Uh, the next two I had trouble because I didn't decide where I wanted to put them. I got three. I got Ryan Blaney, moved him in. Number two, I got Chase Elliott, and he's been running good just the last 3 or 4 weeks. And I will give Kyle Larson a pass on this one. The car was super fast, just either caused that wreck or got into a wreck, or however you want to put it. So I don't drop him out for one bad race. He sucks again this week. He's going down.
Um, All right, so my top five at number five, I've got William Byron. Looks like he's starting to slowly get his groove back now after a solid runner-up spot at Iowa. Number four, I agree with you on these next two. I've got Denny Hamlin at number four. Dropped him down a little bit. He was terrible. It was awful. I think he ended up still just outside top 10 after all the crashes and everything, all the chaos that
Yeah.
happened. But it was not good. Ryan Blaney is my number three. I don't even think I had him in the top five. I have him at honorable mention, probably at number six last week. Number two, I did drop him from the top because, yeah, he pretty much was the reason for him wrecking. I put Larson at number two. And the current points leader, I got Chase Elliott at number one. I think it's the first time I've had Chase at the top of my power rankings.
Yeah,
All
Chase
right.
kind of getting going maybe sort of at the right time here now.
Yep. Well, let's give your overview of New Hampshire.
Well, it's a 1 mile track, regular standard oval, very flat. The picture behind me has a repave in the corners. I don't know how current that one is. It's worries me with this new car because even though it's a mile, it's races more of a short track. It's not going to be near as fast as Iowa. So I don't know how passing is going to be. I don't think there's much of an outside. So I think you're going to have to probably get under them getting into the corner and then, sort of move them out of the groove. And the key is the drive off. It's reminds me of just of a twice the size Martinsville, just the way
Yep,
you got to race it.
that's what I was about to say. It's probably going to look similar to Martinsville. They'd be smart if they wanted. I think they still have that, but I think it's slowly getting worn out. But it wouldn't surprise me if they add like a layer of PJ1 on the second groove to add that second groove and add a little bit more racing on it too.
Yeah, like I said, the picture shows like a repave just into the corners. That could possibly help a little bit. It could also possibly make it worse. So it's I would like this. I would like to see race like especially a race like this where passing could be difficult. Tire wear would make it a better race. That way, if you're going to balls are hard for the first 20, 30 laps, your tires are going to fall off, or and you got the guys that can save tires and have them come on. You get the comers and goers, and I think it would make it a way better race. Qualifying and a good pit stall is going to be very important.
Yeah, that's for sure. I can almost guarantee it's not going to be as boring as that one race where Jeff Burton led every single lap. So
Every lap, I remember that.
yeah, where they put a restrictor plate on it because they were. I think that was just after Adam Petty died, right?
Yeah,
And they wanted to be as
either
safe as
after Adam
possible.
Patty died or the other. Oh wow, I can't think of what his name is. He was a sprint car racer. Was killed same track. Wow, that's
That's
bad.
before my time. Anyways, so let's get into our fantasy and our fantasy. You and I are in a tight race right now. I have a
For
10
last.
point. Yeah. I like to say it's battle for second. It sounds better.
We're catching mom a bit.
A little bit, but she doesn't have any of those like catastrophic weak. I can actually remove her right now. I have the remove button. Um,
Whoops.
uh, and yeah, I've got a 10-point cushion over you right now. I had a pretty good week last. You and I were almost tied last week, so that was if Larson didn't crash once again. Every time I have somebody in my lineup and they get towards the end of their most dominant racer and they end up crashing, so that's always cool. So go ahead with your fantasy lineups this week.
So I have in, he was last year's winner. I think the Toyotas are going to be fast. I have Martin Truex Jr. I put in Bubba Wallace. I just, I
He
don't
had a
know.
good
I
run.
got the
He had a
feeling
good
he's,
run last year.
yeah, I think he could, he's starting to put some decent finishes together here. I love Josh Berry in this week. It's sort of a short track. He's even with the Stuart Haas going on the brink. That car's actually been running very well. I put Denny Hamlin in. He can't have sucky races 2-3 weeks in a row. It just isn't going to happen.
Yeah.
And I have Christopher Bell in. Like I said, I think Toyotas are going to be fast. In my garage, I do have William Byron. And in my featured matchups, I have Ryan Blaney versus Brad Keselowski. I put Brad on this one. Christopher Bell and Martin Truex. I have Truex, Chase Elliott, and Denny Hamlin. I do have Chase and Josh Berry versus Ricky Stenhouse. I have Josh Berry.
All right. Well, we definitely have different starters and everything this week. My thing is, I think Fords are going to be fast this weekend. So we're probably both wrong, and Chevys are going to be fast. So my lineup is Brad Keselowski. I've got Alex Bowman, Josh Berry, Austin Cindric. I don't know why. I need to start burning some people. And Ryan Preece is actually the first time I've used Ryan Preece. And he could potentially do decent at that. A late model guy. And I think he was a modified guy as well. He's had experience with New Hampshire, so I could see him running fairly decent there. And in my garage, I have Ryan Blaney. So worst come to worst, I'll move one of them, and I think he'll still be fine. Ryan Blaney versus Brad Keselowski in the matchups. I have Ryan Blaney. Christopher Bell versus Martin Truex Jr. I've got Christopher Bell. Chase Elliott versus Denny Hamlin. I've got Chase in this one. He's been consistent. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. versus Josh Berry. I've got Josh Berry.
So
And
we have two the same, two different.
they don't even have good picks this week. It's a hot pick. They got a couple hot picks. Hot picks are two drivers that you have, Truex and Denny Hamlin.
Oh, it's funny. I didn't even notice that.
It says avoid Alex Bowman. They say that, but Alex Bowman has 10 top 10 finishes this year, and momentum is a huge thing in racing, like we've talked about. It doesn't mean he's going to be bad in this one. Actually,
Hey,
I think he's going.
the sleeper's different this week. Finally,
Well, it says avoid William Byron. Still don't agree with all this. And it says sleepers Chase Briscoe. We'll see about that. I still think the sleeper could be Chris Buescher. All right, so Xfinity and Cup this week. Let's give our picks. Who's your pick for the Xfinity series?
well, I'm probably going to jinx him again, but I got Justin Allgaier for Xfinity.
And I've got Cole Custer for the Xfinity. He's actually the points leader right now for Xfinity. So.
Oh, no kidding! Is he points leader?
Yeah, I'm done jinxing Allgaier. Who's your pick for the Cup series?
All right, so I picked Denny Hamlin for the Cup, and Mom's pick. She's like hometown track for him. She picked Joey Logano.
I am going probably a pretty big dark horse right now. I just mentioned, and they said to avoid him. He's got 10 top 10 finishes this year. He's been more and more consistent. If he can get actually good qualifying run for once, he will be up in contention. I've got Alex Bowman winning this race.
Okay.
He's plus 6,000 to win this race.
Yeah, put some $10 on that one.
I may have. But he's gonna win this year. This track can race pretty similar to Phoenix. It can race similar to Martinsville. All the Hendricks ran good at Martinsville. He runs good at both tracks. I think he can run really well here. I think it's the first time I've picked Bowman ever.